gentlemen, stay tuned for the Love Chapters Earth open call. Brought to you by the founder of Love Chapters Earth, Trinity Clark, and her Love Earth team. You are about to hear information that will transform your life and the lives of those in your family and communities. Love Chapters is an ecclesiastical non-registered church body that operates through its offices as a corporation sole. It is not a 501c3. This distinction gives Love Chapters the ability to create its own constitution and bylaws to govern the officers of Love Chapters, ensuring that the vision and goal of Love Chapters is accomplished without outside influences. Here's the founder and overseer of Love Chapters Earth, Trinity Clark.
Thank you, Rick. The date is October 7th. We're in the fall already. Anyway, the date is October 7th, 2014. The time is 9 p.m. Eastern, 8 p.m. Central, 7 p.m. Mountain, 6 p.m. Pacific, 5 p.m. Alaska, and 3 p.m. in Hawaii. I will begin the call with our opening prayer. Heavenly Father, I ask that you would bless the Love Earth USA team with resilience to stand positive against the forces of negative as we reach out to Love Chapter office founders in communities around the world. I ask you bless those that are on or listening to the recorded call to hear their name being called to stand as a fearless leader ready to march towards the vision of a Love Chapter office with the urgency to act quickly against procrastination, the tool of evil forces. Through you and guided by you, we seek the leaders that will become the rock in their community. I ask for your continued guidance in each of our lives. Through Jesus Christ, amen. Okay, our call synopsis for this week following my open topic is Rick Hildago's weekly news spotlight, as well as any updates or topics pertaining to Love Chapters Earth Church or affiliate churches as corporation souls. Tim Beulah will present an educational piece pertaining to the water we drink and the structure of. Ruth will chime in with the health segment and what it can contribute as an asset to you and your family's health. This type of knowledge provided will play out in our communities as part of the sustainability and disaster preparedness prompted education provided by the Love Chapter office locations. Anthony will present his Answers with Anthony as part of the Kids on the Edge of Excellence segment, and I believe the segment is on goals. I will begin this week's topic of kicking the failure cycle by first bringing forward a short story of someone that did just that. In the past, we at Love Earth USA got excited when someone came forward to represent a state as the founder of a state Love Chapter office. We offered up the incentive of being one of the 17 council states, a 2-year position of molding Love Chapters, building the vision of love as a team, and helping many of our team members around the USA succeed with their personal missions. We got excited. We were fired up just thinking about the difference we could make in people's lives, in communities around the states, and eventually the world. The sad part is we celebrated states coming on board based on their word, but their word was eaten up by 6 little words that make up a cycle of failure, which is what I will talk about in a moment after I tell you a positive story. So last winter, I met an incredible lady, online of course, Facebook to be exact. She was in the process of moving from one state to another, but she had taken sick with pneumonia and was hospitalized. Her life hit rock bottom. She went from one state to the next on a bus, sick, just leaving the hospital and with little money. But she was wealthy in vision. She had an incredible mission. We type back and forth about Love Chapters as a mission and as funding personal missions. with this incredible opportunity vested within the Pod Magic system. I can't say for sure, but I think she may have got sucked into the cycle of failure because the conversation stopped. This past week, she contacted me. She didn't say a lot, just that she was ready. I didn't get excited. Been there, done that. However, this time was different. She asked for something to assure her state's success in getting regional offices set up. She is motivated. She is energetic. She put together a goal plan for her state's success, and she is following through on track. I won't be saying anything, not her name, not her state, not her mission, because her goal plan for her state will speak loudly enough. Now that I have brought forward a success plan is in motion for one state, I want to speak about the cycle of failure. The cycle of failure has 6 seemingly innocent pieces that add together to create the cycle of failure. No one sets out to fail at anything they undertake, and they certainly don't anticipate 6 little actions create a cycle into an epic fail, or how things that start off great in their life always move downhill. First, we need to understand what a cycle is. To do this, let's examine the bicycle. There are 2 wheels that are connected to a sprocket, a circular pedal of opposition connected to a sprocket, and a chain that connects all 3 sprockets together. The pedal beginning the movement which moves the wheels to move the bike forward. That is a cycle. It is the same every time, but not one piece can be removed and still have the whole cycle. The front wheel sprocket taken out of the chain loop means the bike will not move forward. Remove the chain and the pedals or tires do nothing. So it is you driving a chain action via the pedals connected to a sprocket that make the bike move. If you sit on the bike wanting to go for a ride but you don't engage in action with your feet and legs on pedals, the bike will not move. You can sit on the bike as long as you like, thinking about where you want to go, but it won't happen as long as you procrastinate getting your feet and legs into action. Procrastination is the first stop on the cycle of failure. Procrastination creates a negative time bank, time crunch, and as time runs short, your energy tanks and you become negative about what was once positive. Number 4 in the cycle is resistance, is worn down and replaced with fear and doubt. You can't seem to catch up. You lost running in circles. You feel like a failure, and all your hard work turns into chaos, which is number 5 in the cycle. And number 6 is isolation. Now, isolation in this particular case doesn't mean locked in the house or your room or your office. It means alone to get something complete, overwhelmed, depressed. That is the cycle of failure. And most people will tell you to change your habits, to change your outcome, when really it should be just change your thinking. Because every cycle can be positive or negative. We all have things we procrastinate on, but it doesn't mean we have to ride the whole cycle. Simply change your awareness to understand that you can continue to procrastinate on through the cycle, or you can become aware you have procrastinated and change your expectation to positive. Ask yourself, what if questions to help yourself change the action. That is how you turn the failure cycle inside out to a success cycle. You don't change that you will never procrastinate again. You change your awareness of when you are procrastinating. You reinforce to a positive of expectations, and then change your actions to play out the positive. Don't become aware in a negative light. Accept yourself. Learn how to work with your own personality and turn your cycles to success cycles. You've heard the saying that sticks and stones can break my bones, but words will never hurt me. Well, it's pretty much a lie. Words do hurt if we accept them, believe them, and allow ourselves to be affected by them. However, if we hear them, become aware that others might see us in that light, turn it into a positive, and take action in that positive direction, we just jumped on the success cycle. Humans are resilient creatures. We have the ability to change direction in our lives simply by thinking. Not stinking thinking, but by thinking, positive thinking. Our mind to our direction is like a chameleon's color change for protection by blending. So, that was all about recognizing the success cycle or failure cycle. Then why is it when we have the opportunity of a lifetime come before us to be successful in our personal life, our purpose, and our dreams, we seem to run and jump right back into the comfort box of the 40-year plan or jump right back on the 40-rung ladder that doesn't reach the mountaintop? The answer is simple. It's a question to the question. What's stopping you from breaking the cycle of failure? Disclaimer here. I'm not calling anybody a failure. This does not apply to the person as a whole. This applies to individual human experiences. How does this apply to love chapters? Well, we see the vision of love. We see the possibility of our own mission or a better lifestyle or a purposeful direction. And we stand up and say, I want to represent my state with a love chapter office. Filled with fear, not willing to be bad at explaining love chapters enough times to be able to get good at it, we procrastinate finding our team members. That's when the time bankruptcy begins and our energy tanks, and then resistance is knocked by doubt. Love chapters becomes a source of chaos for us, and we isolate ourselves from the group. We don't get on the calls. We don't keep in contact. We allow the failure cycle to change our life's direction. The hope that love chapters once represented is gone and replaced with doubt, our doubt in ourselves. What if you gathered a team? What if you followed the Pod Magic system just for 8 weeks even? 2 months of your time, and you actually made $800 from the system itself, plus over $1,000 in bonuses, $1,800 in personal monies you didn't have before, $900 added to your monthly income, all because you became aware of procrastination. Because you looked at your positive expectations instead of negative outcomes. What if you could decide if love chapters would be a success story for your life? The good news is you can. You and you only are the deciding factor to which cycle you ride. Numbers are an exact science. People are the variables, not the system for numbers. The Pod Magic system is simple, not easy, but a simple system of a 2-week process of duplication for 12 to 16 weeks that will yield a 6-figure income within 6 months that will eventually, in quite short order, become a monthly income to those willing to jump on a success cycle. Only you can make that decision. What if you formed a team of 8 to become a state love chapter office, and each of those on your team became successful and had shown 8 people how to do the same that formed a team of 8. One team would have helped 64 other teams of 8 to become successful and to work at healing communities. Why, that's 512 people working towards healing communities in just one state, creating a better world for our children and grandchildren, creating many types of specialized missions, and 512 people that are financially secure, comfortable, and it all began with one person jumping on the success cycle. That's it. One person. Are you that one? Thanks for your time to listen to me, because that speaks of you. With that, I will yield the floor to Rick Hidalgo and the weekly news. Rick?
Good evening, everyone. This is Love Chapters News, and I am Rick Hidalgo. Tonight is October the 7th, 2014. Each week, we'll bring you a news segment meant to challenge your paradigm. Tonight, we talk about the box. And tonight, you'll be hearing a clip from Kevin Hunter, a creative thinking expert. Here's Kevin.
Thinking outside the box. This is perhaps one of the most well-worn cliches for expressing the need to think beyond the obvious. However, I think it's a lot more than just that. In order to truly think outside the box, you must first think about the box you're in. What does your education suggest that you do in any given situation? What pathways does your experience suggest you ought to take? What trails do your life habits lead you down? For many, a truly creative thought process can be stifled by education and experience, not necessarily expanded. That may sound counterintuitive, so let me explain why. Our influences shape us as we grow older, and there's nothing like experience and education to narrow and focus our thought process. It seems that quite the opposite should be happening, but for many, it only provides further clarity and expertise in obvious areas of our interests. I believe that in order for you to truly think outside the box, you must think outside the limits of your experience and education. You must learn to be comfortable with things that you're not used to. I believe that in doing so, you give your brain permission to venture places you wouldn't have dared go before. For example, how many of us ever change our toothpaste once we find something we like? How often do you visit the same restaurants and order the same favorite dish you always get? Some of us say, I'm a blue jeans kind of guy, while others say, I wear a shirt and tie wherever I go. These habits put us in our comfort zone, and over time they narrow the possibility that we'll consider other things in the future. If you really want to know how ready you are to think outside the box, the next time you go to a restaurant, ask the waiter to bring you what he or she likes on the menu. Tell them there's a $10 tip waiting for them if they ask you no questions about what you like or dislike, and then make a game out of it by subtracting $1 for every comment or question they make, searching for input from you on what to bring to the table. This experiment highlights two things. Not only are most people uncomfortable ordering the unknown, but even the waiter doesn't want to deliver a meal they already know is delicious just because they're not the ones eating it. When you're ready to do things like this, you're ready to start thinking outside the box in a truly remarkable way. The lesson is this. The old line about practicing the way you want to play is very true. You can't be stuck in a rut in virtually every area of your life and then expect to be the world's greatest brainstormer at work. If you want to be the creative genius in your career, then give yourself permission to practice living outside the box on a daily basis and use some of the examples I just gave you. Remember what I said about thinking outside the box being an expression to think beyond the obvious? I hope you've come to realize that thinking outside the box is more about expanding your own comfort zone than it is about the obvious, which is creative thinking. Since there's no time like the present, start today by challenging your comfort zone in simple ways, and you'll find yourself quickly becoming the most amazing outside-the-box thinker in your industry. I'm Kevin Hunter. Thanks for listening.
Well, Kevin is an expert at motivating people to think outside the box. Allow me the opportunity to take it even one step further, far out of everyone's comfort zone. What if I told you that in every box there was a jack whose responsibility it is to sell you a bill of goods. What if that Jack in the Box was deceitful and only there to lower you into his box so that he would benefit exclusively from his new relationship with you? What if we were all created as out-of-the-box beings who were never meant to stand in any box, but only to subdue the earth and bring it into submission to its Creator? Tonight, I bring you good tidings and great joy. The sovereign God of creation has indeed called us to keep out of Jack's box. The box is filled with temptation and legalisms that are shameful to the way of our Creator. Love Chapters Earth Church is the method our sovereign Creator has chosen to use to shred the box of law, fraud, dishonor, and sin. It is the out-of-the-box method that uses our sovereign Creator's law, the law of nature, to break out of the box and begin transforming the earth into the base of love, joy, peace, patience, kindness, goodness, faithfulness, gentleness, and self-control. Against these things there can be no law. This has been another nightly news segment. Good night. See you next week. And God bless. I'd now like to introduce Tim Bueller.
Yeah, thanks, Rick, and thanks, Trinity, for your little piece. Tonight, I said last week I'd go over the 8 myths. I got to looking at this. It's pretty long, so I think I'll just do the 4 of them this week, and next week do the other 4. 8 myths about dehydration. Here at Natural Action Technologies, we encourage all healthy, motivated people to return to the simple pleasures of water in much the same way that many have discovered the benefits of whole foods over heavily processed and aggressively marketed industrial flair. It's time to get back to the basics of water, and nature is always our greatest teacher. Myth 1. Dehydration is relatively rare and occurs only when the body is deprived of water for days. Reality. Low-grade dehydration versus acute and critical dehydration is a chronic, widespread problem that has major impact on the well-being, energy, appearance, and resilience. Christopher Vasily, ND, a Swiss neuropath and author of The Water Prescription, Healing Art Press, revealed that most people suffer regularly from this type of chronic dehydration because of poor eating and drinking habits. Chronic dehydration can cause digestive disorders because our body needs water to produce the digestive juices that aid the digestive process. If we don't get that water, we don't secrete enough digestive juices, and a variety of problems, such as gas, bloating, nausea, poor digestion, loss of appetite, can ensure. Bottom line, if you're not actively forcing on dehydration throughout the day, there's a good chance you could be at least somewhat dehydrated, which could be negatively affecting your energy, vitality, and immunity, as well as your appearance. Experiments with drinking more water throughout the day. You may observe an almost immediate difference in your well-being. And even if you don't establish good hydration habits, now will not many good things for your cellular health over the long haul. Myth number 2, your body needs 8-ounce glasses of water daily. Reality, your body does need a steady supply of water to operate efficiently and perform the many routine housekeeping tasks that keep you healthy and energetic. That said, this is no scientific evidence. There is no scientific evidence to back up the very specific and well-worn advice that you need to drink 8 ounces glasses of water a day. In 2002, Heinz Voltland, MD, a retired psychologist, professor from Dartmouth Medical School, and author of 2 textbooks on kidney function, published a definitive paper on the subject of American Journal of Psychology. He spent 10 months searching medical literature for scientific evidence of the 8x8 rule, only to come up empty-handed. In 2004, the Institute of Medicine, a division of the National Academy of Science, actually set the adequate total daily water intake at higher than 64 ounces for men and 2.7 liters or 91 fluid ounces for women. But those numbers refer to total water intake, meaning all beverages and water-containing foods count toward your daily quota. Fruits and veggies, for example, pack the most watery punch, with watermelons and cucumbers topping the list. But it all counts. Dynamic cuts both ways, Bassi believes that many people suffer from low-grade chronic dehydration because of what they are eating as well as what they are drinking. The I don't like water crowd could probably make up their water deficiency by eating the right kinds of foods, he asserts. But most don't eat enough fruits and vegetables. Instead, they eat meat, cereal, and breads, which don't have much water and contain a lot of salt. Animal protein requires a great deal more moisture than they contain to break down. The simulate that when then flushed from the body, and many processed foods such as chips and crackers, for example, are nearly devoid of moisture. So like sponges, they soak up water as they proceed through the digestive system. The body requires only 2 to 5 grams of salt a day to stay healthy. But most people gobble up 12 to 15 grams of the stuff daily. To rid itself of the overload, the body requires copious amounts of liquid. Bottom line, if you want to stay optimally healthy, hydrated, and energetic, it's a good idea to eat plenty of water-containing foods and drink water throughout the day. And when in doubt, it's probably not a bad idea to make a point of drinking a little more water rather than a little less. But that doesn't mean you need to down 8 glasses exactly, or that if you run a little shy of 64 ounces, then something awful is going to happen. Just be aware that the fewer vegetables, fruits, and legumes you are eating, the more dried, processed, or chemical-laced foods you include in your diet, the more water you'll need to consume to compensate. Myth number 3. When it comes to dehydrating, all beverages are created equal. Reality, not so. In principle, the 90 to 125 or so ounces recommended by the Institute of Medicine would include your morning coffee, the soda you drink with lunch, and even a glass of wine at dinner. Particularly speaking, however, caffeinated, sweetened, and alcoholic drinks pack chemically corrosive or trigger chemical reactions. What demand significant amounts of fluid to properly process and filter. As a result, non-water beverages can actually set you back water-wise, many experts suggest. You can actually dehydrate the body, says Haas. For example, said Bassi, drinks like coffee, black tea, cocoa are very high in proteins, toxins that must be diluted in large quantities of water to be flushed from the body. Artificial sweetened drinks add to the body's toxin burden. Sugar and coffee also create an acidic environment in the body, impeding enzyme function and taxing the kidneys, which must rid the body of excessive acid. Moreover, said Bassi, caffeine found in coffee, black tea, and soft drinks adversely affect your body's water storage because it is a diuretic, or that elevates blood pressure, increasing the rate of both the production and elimination of urine. The water in these drinks travels through the body too quickly, says Bassi. Hardly has the water entered the bloodstream that the kidneys remove the portion of liquid and portion of that liquid and eliminate it before the water has time to make its way into the intercellular environment. For more on the important intercellular dehydration, see myth number 5. Bottom line, moderate consumption of beverages like coffee and tea is fine, but be aware that while some of the fluid in non-water beverages may be helping you, certain ingredients may be siphoning away your body's water storage. So when you're drinking to hydrate, stick primarily with water. And if you're looking for a pick-me-up, try sparkling water with a squeeze of citrus. Myth number 4. By the time you are thirsty, you are already dehydrated. Again, it depends on what you mean by dehydrated. Experts like Bassi posit that while those walking around in a state of subclinical dehydration may not feel thirsty, their bodies are sending other signals of inadequate hydration, from headaches to stomach cramps to low energy to dry skin. But when it comes to avoiding the more widely accepted definitions of chronic dehydration, thirst is a good indicator of when you need to swig. Here's the deal. As water levels in your body drop, the blood gets thicker. From the concentrated of solids in the blood rises by 2%, the thirst mechanism is triggered. A 1% raise in blood solid could be called mild dehydration, but it could also be considered a normal fluctuation in body fluids. Either way, feeling thirsty is a good indicator that you need to get some water into your body, and soon. Serious symptoms of dehydration don't arise until blood solids rise by 5%, long after you feel thirsty. But obviously you don't want to wait that long. Even mild subclinical levels of dehydration come with sacrifices in optimal vitality, metabolism, and appearance. Like an underwater plant, the body can survive on less water than it wants, but it's unlikely to thrive. Bottom line, drinking water only when you're thirsty may regulate you to being less than optimally dehydrated much of the time, and it may undermine your energy and vitality. On the other hand, constantly sipping or gulping calories or chemically laden beverages for entertainment is a bad idea. So if you tend to keep a bottle of soda on your desk all day, or if you've never seen without a coffee cup in your hand, rethink your approach. Get in the habit of drinking a glass of water first thing in the morning and a few more glasses of water throughout the day. Also drink proactively, especially important during strenuously exercise, long airplane flights, and in hot weather. And then next week we'll go on with the other 4 myths there, and I yield the floor.
Thank you, Tim. Okay, I think, do we have Ruth online with us?
Thank you, Trinity. Today we are going to be talking about liposomal vitamin C, and I have an excerpt for us to listen to that'll educate us on the process of making your own at home. So far we've talked about several things that are pretty cost efficient, and this is another one of those things. It may seem like, what is that? Liposomal vitamin C? What is that? Well, this guy will describe it pretty good to you, but the main thing is we all know the benefits of vitamin C for getting healthy and well and boosting your immune system. We've also heard rumors about it being very good for helping kill free radicals. Liposomal vitamin C is hospital grade vitamin C. It is very potent, extremely strong vitamin C. In the hospital, if you were given a vitamin C dosage intravenously, it would cost you thousands of dollars. And the recipe he's going to be sharing with you will show you how to make it for less than $30. You buy the products, get the stuff that he recommends, do it with the process that he says to use, and you can have a hospital-grade medicine at your disposal in your own home. So, I hope you enjoy this segment that I have found for us to listen to tonight.
Hi, I'm Arthur Dirksen, Zapper expert and great fan of natural health. And we've got some really interesting information for you today. We've discovered a life-altering substance that we want to share, the very simple manufacturing process. It can change the lives of your loved ones, and it's called liposomal encapsulated vitamin C. Sounds really complicated, but liposomal encapsulation just means that we're putting a thin layer of a lipid. In this case, it's a non-GMO lecithin layer around vitamin C, pure vitamin C, ascorbic acid. And so that works really well in the body. I'll put some links on my blog here as to the story that got us into this, a chap from New Zealand who was in a coma, whose life was basically saved by this stuff. But we've been trying it with some friends and getting really cool reports back. So we have to tell you, so you can get right on this. It's so cheap and easy to do. All you need to do this are, of course, the vitamin C, some non-GMO lecithin, some water. A blender's good, although it's not absolutely necessary. And you need a little ultrasonic cleaner. Now the ultrasonic cleaner does the magic of actually encapsulating the vitamin C solution into the lipid layers. The ultrasonic bubbles just wrap it around. So it's an amazing thing, and these wrapped little bubbles that look almost tiny, like tiny little cells with a lipid layer around them from the lecithin, will carry that vitamin C through the digestive system so it doesn't get interfered with by the digestive juices or the enzymes, and it will bring it right into the bloodstream where these little capsules go into the cells much more easily. In fact, this stuff is so much more powerful. We've read that it acts like about 6 to 8 times the equivalent amount of vitamin C taken by IV. That's amazing. 6 to 8 times more powerful than the IV equivalent of this vitamin C. So here's how we do it. First of all, we take the vitamin C and we put it into warm water. That just dissolves it faster. So we've got 1 cup of the water and 2 tablespoons of vitamin C crystals. Okay, so 1 cup of water, 2 tablespoons of vitamin C crystals. We just mix it up like that, and it will dissolve. We also have I put 6.5 level tablespoons of the lecithin, 6.5 level tablespoons of lecithin in 2 cups of water, and pure water, distilled is best, or get the purest water you can get, and stir that in and mix it around a bit here, but we're going to really let the blender do the hard work of the mixing. So there we go, that's good enough for now, and we put it into our trusty BlendTech blender, and this one needs a little more dissolving, so we'll just run this. Okay, and now we simply add the vitamin C and repeat. And there we go. This blending has already mixed the lipid solution with the vitamin C quite effectively, and we have about 30 ounces here. Well, it looks, because there's a bit of foam, it's about 25, 26 ounces here, and we put it into the ultrasonic unit here. And this is the easy part. We start the unit. I'm going to put 480, which is 8 minutes long, and we'll let it go. While it's going, I'll just stir it like this to mix it over the little ultrasonic element there. So we're going to just do this for the 480 seconds. And here we are right at the end of the 480 second cycle, the 8 minutes. And we got a nice smooth, almost looks like eggnog in there. Now we'll just pour it out into glass containers, and recommend refrigerating it. It lasts stably for only 3 or 4 days at room temperature, so it does much longer if you're doing it in the fridge, keeping it in the fridge. So we recommend that. So now we have our finished product here. We've put 30 grams of vitamin C, pure ascorbic acid crystals, into 24 ounces of water, and so that's about 1.25 grams per ounce of liquid. So now we didn't get 100% encapsulation efficiency with this. We get probably around 70%, and so it's around 0.9 grams of actual encapsulated vitamin C, and the rest is in the solution. So when you taste it, it tastes kind of like a funny kind of eggnog. Because of the lecithin, it has that feeling of eggnog at the end in your throat. But it's slightly sour because it didn't encapsulate all of the vitamin C. That's okay. The rest of it will act like taking oral vitamin C normally will, but that encapsulated stuff will do a great job. And it acts like 6 to 8 grams of IV vitamin C per gram of encapsulated vitamin C. So you're getting, say it's 0.9 grams, it'll act like 5 to 7 grams of IV vitamin C per ounce that you get in just a little shot glass is 1 ounce. So try it out. Love to hear how you do with it. Thank you for watching. God bless you.
Back to you, Trinity.
Well, thank you, Rick. Do we have Anthony tonight?
Get ready for Answers with Anthony. A Kids on the Edge of Excellence segment on the Love Chapters Earth open call. Here is Answers with Anthony.
Anthony, how would you define motivation so kids can understand it better?
Motivation is when you have a drive to do something. It could be doing an assignment, playing a sport, doing a job, or just something you do normally throughout your day.
What do you think helps the level of enthusiasm?
You could get a reward. You could save time. You could get more money from your job as a bonus. You could learn better. You could earn more reputation with people out there so that you can get jobs easier with references.
What is your advice for kids for motivation zappers? Everybody has something that just zaps the motivation right out of them. What is your advice for them, Anthony?
Well, there are a few things you could do about this. One of them is that you could find something else to motivate you just as much, if not more. You could find out why it zaps you and find